Hey, everybody, and welcome again to another episode of the Wish You Were Beer Show. Tiffany is normally with me, however, she decided to crack a show beer right as we started, and it went everywhere. So she's currently cleaning up beer. So big day.
It was so fun to watch that happening in the little screen.
I knew you. I could see your face in the little bottom screen as soon as it happened. I was like, here we go.
I'll be with you all in a moment.
Well, for those of you just joining us, perhaps for the first time, thank you. You're welcome. And this is a weekly live beer review show. We do it every Thursday here on YouTube. You can also stream it through Facebook and Twitter as well. So make sure you check in every week with this on Thursdays. Make sure you like and subscribe. That's pretty standard operating procedure for anything that's live streamed. We also have an Instagram account that you can follow along with us. If you go down in the About section below, you can find out all the beer subscription services that we use off and on. You can get all our different links to our different social medias. You can find our website, which has basically all of our past shows. We've got a great blog on the beers that we've already done. There's a lot of good information in there. So make sure you follow through and check on that as well. Make sure you follow us on Untapped. That's basically the beer social drinking app that we use to check in the beers for the show, our personal beers. Basically any beer we have is pretty much going to be on there in some capacity. So make sure you follow along with us. If you're watching through Twitter or YouTube or Facebook, you can comment along as well. So if you weren't lucky enough to get the beer that we're having, make sure you let us know what you're having, where you're watching from. If you have any questions, if you want to tell Phil and Tiffany that their matching sweatshirts look great. Basically anything you want to do is great.
We did not plan this.
No, not at all.
Daniel didn't get the note about prints tonight.
Yeah, that's my bad, man. I really let you guys down on this.
Printed hoodie, sweatshirt, sweaters. You didn't get the note.
It's a big day out there.
Yeah.
That being said, as always, I'm Daniel. This is Tiffany. The other beautiful sweatered man is Phil. Phil, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm fucking great.
Yeah?
Is that a question? I just opened a beer and it didn't go everywhere, so already batting 1,000.
Yeah.
Start. I even tapped the top of it like usual, and it went everywhere. And
you have such a short memory. That's the same beer I opened last week that did the exact same thing.
Oh damn, yeah.
Big day.
Well, it's great that I feel like I've seen you two even more now because we were on a show this past Sunday.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Possibly
so I'm seeing you all
because
the time.
we drank 3 beers on that show.
And you had one beforehand.
Yeah, I did. So if you guys didn't follow along over the weekend, we were actually on the weekly beer show with Danny and Nate. So they're out on the West Coast. They put on a great show as well. We had a blast with those guys. So if you didn't get the chance to catch it, you can find them on YouTube as well, the weekly beer show. We did 3 beers.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I did a beer and a rude boy, so.
Oh, God, yeah, that's right, yeah. Well, that's kind of like 5 beers, Phil.
Yeah, I know. I was right there with you guys by the end of that show.
I believe it.
I don't remember being as noticeably drunk to the viewers. However, we went for a walk afterwards because I was like, Danny, we gotta get out of the house. I need a minute. I need some air. And we decided to have a foot race, kind of drunk.
That's how you know we've been drinking. Tiffany wanted to race me.
Yeah. And I had our dog, who, by the way, is way faster than me. So he's pulling me, and I'm trying to run while also trying to slow myself down so I don't fall on my face as I'm running. So good news, I don't have a broken nose today for the show. Bad news, I lost.
Miserably.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I would love to be your neighbors. Just seeing that image just going across my window.
He even had an open beer, and I'm carrying a vitamin water and the dog and trying to run.
Oh yeah, that's right. I did have another beer after the show as well. That's good. That's
Yeah.
good.
Welcome to Sunday, you know?
Yeah. It was Sunday. I took a nap. It was great.
You did, yeah. Yeah.
So that being said, how many weeks in St. Martin are you now? What's the count?
As of yesterday, this was 1 month. So I can't believe I've been here.
That's 4.
I think it's.
Yeah, I think I asked how many weeks, not how many months.
Well, I figured it out finally. So 4 weeks.
You know I don't do math.
Yeah, I figured out yesterday was my first month here. So I've got only 2 months left, and that first one flew right by. So
I'm sure. Yeah.
I'm getting a little nervous about the rest of it.
That middle month is really going to drag.
Yeah,
It's always
I hope so.
the last month is the one that drags the most.
Yeah. Well, I got another St. Martin beer for us tonight.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, which drinking?
So this is from Caribbean Brewing Company, which I had the Dutch Blonde, I think the first week I did the show here. This is their SXM Light.
Nice.
So it's a little 3%er.
Very cool.
One of those beers you can just have on the beach all day, the whole time. And
I was going to say, even the labeling kind of looks like an Anheuser-Busch beer in some capacity, right?
Yeah.
Or it actually looks like Bud
Busch Light.
Ice.
No, it looks like Busch Light.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm kind of assuming that's the replacement for, the Coors, the Busch, any sort of just basic light beer. So let's find out.
I mean, basic light beer is never a bad thing.
Is it an Amstel Light? What does that look like? Looks like
Amstel Light's
like
a corporate label.
This is actually much better though. It's actually not what I expected. It's got some like citrus in it too, so it's got almost like a tropical, definitely a good like beach beer.
Nice.
So that's actually much nicer. I expected it to just be like a water beer.
Yeah, 3%.
Like gotta hydrate.
Yeah, like at a 3%, you're just gonna have water with a little bit of beer, but no.
Foamy water.
It actually has something in it. Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Foamy water is a great light beer name, by the way.
Oh,
I'm just having some foamy water.
I really didn't set this camera up very well.
Don't mess with it. Don't.
It's too late at this point. Now
I
it's
know.
fall.
And our camera cable is so sensitive. If you bump that cable, the whole thing shuts down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't leave me here alone by myself again.
Don't forget to like and subscribe so we can maybe one day have money, so we can buy a better camera.
If you're doing this for the money, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. Yeah,
I mean, true.
Based off of today's performance, I tend to agree.
Yeah. We're not doing great. That's for sure. Good news is I'm helping us fill out that blooper reel real fast.
True story.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to have to dig through that at some point.
Yeah, this is going to be probably chock full based on just those 2 things of me fixing the camera and not being here when we open. So,
big day.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into it. What are we doing today?
We're drinking.
I know that. I mean, I'm already doing that.
Yeah, me too. I got this new glass. Look, it's cool. It's sliced.
Is it? Oh, weird. What a weird glass.
I like it.
Really adding to that glass collection.
I know. We don't have enough already. I had to put a shelf up just for the glassware.
There's been a new glass every week.
It's a real problem.
Well, tonight we are drinking another beer drop beer, and I think it's one of we haven't done too many duplicate breweries, and this is
I don't think so either.
So tonight we are drinking Sparks Fly from Ratio Beerworks out of Denver, Colorado.
Yes, and the can is not that blue.
You're seeing it blue?
Yes.
Weird. Not blue for me.
Yeah, this is going great.
Definitely blue. Yeah. Is it like highlighted? Did you like accidentally click on it?
I don't know. I'm not seeing it as blue. So
God, I love this year.
It's like, when you go to like copy something and you like highlight it. That's what it looks like right now.
I don't know. Maybe I'm going colorblind at this point in my life.
No.
Even better.
I'll send you a photo of it real fast.
Wouldn't be surprised. Well, I guess it's more of a goldish silver thing going on here. It's like
And so if you guys follow along with us, we have done a Ratio Beerworks. Actually, it was pretty early in the game for us as well. We did their, wasn't it Dimed Out?
Mm-hmm.
Dimed Out, yeah. That was the one that was shaped. It had the tape, it had the cassette For all the young audience that watch us, that's how we used to play music.
Also, the save file is a floppy disk.
Right.
Yeah.
For the record.
I sent you a photo of what it looks like, just for the record.
Great.
So not only has
so
Tiffany spilled beer on the show so far, she also took the time out of the show to take a photograph with her phone and text you in the middle of it.
Yeah. And then
us
tell me
Twitter
to look at it.
These Twitter folks, we need to stick together.
A big day, man.
It's been a long week.
Don't worry though, I have a new glass for tonight's show because I know it's been driving you guys crazy that I don't have
your shitty wine glass was finally not good enough.
Yeah, so I got a little champagne flute. So that's what I got tonight.
So there's still no damn beer glassware on this island.
I found it up on the shelf.
I like that it took you a full month to find an additional glass in the small place that you're staying.
Well, you got to be looking for it.
So I honestly, I've gone to a few shops and I was like, I got to be able to find a glass. And I almost found one today, but it was just a orange juice glass. I just can't find one that's worth buying. That
I think it would still look better than your champagne flute or stem wine glass.
No, I disagree. I think this is going to be perfect.
Actually, with the blue logo, Tiffany and I being here, fuck it, drink out of whatever you want, man. Who cares?
We're obviously not professionals.
All right, let's settle down. Let's get into something a little more familiar, something a little easier for all of us to handle, I assume. Let's do some history and facts. Is that possible?
Yeah, I think that's possible.
So for those of you maybe watching for the first time, this is...
I apologize.
1. 2, this is the portion of the show typically where we'll do a little bit of sort of history and facts, but it's kind of morphed into more of actual trivia. Sometimes it's about the brewery. Sometimes it's about the beer style. Sometimes it's about a holiday. A litany of different things. But if you're logged in, obviously you can follow along with us. You can comment along and try to get all the answers right that I will indefinitely get wrong.
Also, the Weekly Beer Show is here.
Dan, thanks, Dan. I appreciate it. I'm going for this. This is going to be perfect.
I'm doing it, damn it.
Dan gets me.
All right. Are these ones also blue?
I hope so.
Nothing will make me happier.
They're blue.
They are all blue.
I think you have really messed this up, Phil. Something is highlighted.
Well, someone in the comments tell us if it actually is blue.
Vero, is it blue?
It's blue. It's definitely blue.
It is not blue on my end, so I'm intrigued by this.
Well, while it's blue, I will read.
Can you read it at least, even though it's blue? All right.
It's a little difficult, but I think I've got it. When we previously did a Ratio Beerworks episode, which hops were featured in the beer Dimed Out? A Citra, B Cascade, C Simcoe, or D Mosaic?
And this is a select all that apply, I assume? There's no way just one of these.
Yes, it is a select all. Or whatever ones you think.
I'm going to say C and D. Simcoe and Mosaic.
I'm trying to remember what this was.
It's gold.
I'm gonna go with whoa.
My bad.
Tiffany's clicking things.
I made it yellow though.
Tiffany, you're not supposed to touch things.
Thank you. God.
You've spilled beer tonight. You weren't there. Now you're touching things.
I can't keep living this lifestyle.
I've had to put the camera in the middle.
All right, so I'm going to say C and D, Simcoe and Mosaic.
And I'm going to say A and B. Oh.
Well, we're all wrong.
Now I know I'm wrong. Yeah.
Remembrance.
Yeah.
All right. Yes. Everyone should be very surprised. / not. Vero is right. Vero.
She does her homework.
Yes. It is A and D. So it also contained Eldorado, Centennial, and Denali hops. This one was one that had I think we had it was 7 different hop variants in it, 2 of which were double dry hopped at the end. So it was really crazy hop heavy, but we actually really liked it.
Yeah.
As a whole, our team gave it a 4.5 out of 5, which it even for beer number 2, like show number 2, like that's stupid high. I
This is
feel
true.
like we've gotten more lenient with our ratings since like show 2. So like now it's still an incredible score, but like somewhat more likely.
Sure.
So yeah, but we gave it a 4.5.
Well, at this point, this is the second time that Ratio Beerworks has not been on the show, so this beer better be good.
Right. I actually
I
wrote it
know.
in my notes. No pressure ratio.
Yeah, we've only, and they actually responded to us and just decided not to come on.
Yeah.
So
It just didn't work out. That's all.
you know, how dare they not come on our show?
Twice. Like you'd think that they would.
There's a portion of me that feels that way. Ah.
Oh, I missed some beer. I spilled.
Okay, this is pretty easy, Katie. Basically,
Oh.
Tiffany opened a beer right before we started.
And it
went everywhere. So right as we came on, Tiffany was in the kitchen getting a towel and cleaning up beer instead of being on the show.
And true story. If you weren't here, it didn't happen. Except for it was filmed and live. So everyone was going to sleep. So
And I am not editing it out at
Nope.
no.
all.
All right, let's get on to question number 2.
All right. True or false? A single keg of IPA contains an average of 2 pounds of hops.
A single keg,
Yes.
not a brew.
a keg.
Yeah,
a single
okay.
keg.
2 pounds.
So then like a 30 barrel would be like
A lot.
correct.
Yeah.
I'm going to say false then. I think that's too many.
Pounds? Too many pounds?
Yes.
Keg. Yeah, I'm gonna go with false. I think that would be an insane amount of hops.
So, with that being said, before I answer it, how many pounds do you think are in it?
According to Vero, it's a pound.
Yeah, I'd say a 1 pound sounds.
Damn it.
Thank you, Vero.
Also,
However, we both got it right before Vero chimed in.
yes. That doesn't
So
happen
that
often.
was an answer that was my own. It was correct.
Yeah. So IPA, just a standard IPA, about 1 pound of hops per keg. The Imperial IPA actually has 3.8 pounds of hops per keg.
Jeez.
So, follow-up question: what style of beer contains 1.73 pounds of hops?
A hazy.
A hazy IPA. What do you think, Phil?
A juicy.
But you think it's still an IPA, like another variant?
So it's another
Oh.
variant.
I
It
didn't
could
say
be
that.
any beer, not
it could
just
be any beer. That's why I said what
This
beer.
is why you got to write it down because if I don't see it,
No, this was a follow-up.
1.73.
Yeah, just in between an Imperial and an IPA. What do you think contains
Imperial's not a style of beer.
Imperial IPA and a
Imperial
regular IPA? Those ones are the two we already talked about.
But now it can be any beer.
Any beer.
It could be a stout. It could be a
Right.
sour.
Yep.
Okay. 1.73, you say?
Yeah. So in
That
between.
seems so specific.
That's very
All right.
specific.
Well, let's say what's the second most heavily hopped beer in a keg? Like if we're looking at just keg size versus barrel size.
I put a lot of specifications on this all of a sudden.
I'm trying to make it easier, man.
I have no idea.
Travel Man
Yeah.
Dan
I have
thinks
no
it's
idea.
a double IPA.
What?
Yeah.
It's still in the IPA world. Are we still?
I said it could be anything.
Just
But is it?
give me the
Just,
goddamn answer. I can't
Yeah,
take it
at this
anymore.
point.
So Vero, who, by the way, we have a whole blog on these, and I'm glad that
Yes.
the two of you have read this.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
It is an Imperial Stout. There's like graphics and shit. It's like literally built for you, and you're.
Yeah, I'm heavy on the reading.
That's why I said there's graphics. There's pictures.
You know what I do for a living? I don't read. All right.
Anyway, Imperial Stouts. They have about 1.73 pounds of hops per keg,
Nice.
which I when I read that first time, I was definitely surprised.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Okay.
Oh, hold on.
Number whatever, 3.
Wait a minute. How many questions do we have?
Wait, I need to finish this beer that I half spilt on the floor.
You lose a lot of time, man.
All right, well, you can open it, and I'll open mine in a minute. It's a short can. It's a short can. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
it
wait.
is.
All right, Citra hops.
Well, for those of you that are unfamiliar, we typically open the beer around question 3 so that we can try it a little bit, get a little more than hopefully about halfway through it before we actually start to talk about the beer, as opposed to just giving you the gut reaction after the first sip.
I prefer the gut reaction.
You know how this show works? Have
Yeah.
you done any of these?
I just wanted to get through this one first.
Why does this feel like our first show again?
I'll tell you what happened, Phil. I had a headache before the show, so I took a nap. So Tiffany woke me up 5 minutes before we were supposed to start.
It was like 7 minutes.
Regardless, she still hadn't brought in her extra computer. There's a light missing that we normally set up. The camera was wrong. Basically, I left Tiffany out here to her own device, and it did not go well.
Yeah. But you know what I was doing really well at? Wheel of Fortune.
Exactly.
And I had to pause so I could watch Jeopardy later. Thank goodness I record Jeopardy so I
It's
can
our Jeopardy
catch up with that
podcast.
shit tomorrow.
All right. Question 3.
All right.
Citra
Let me
hops.
just pour this into my wine glass.
Citra hops are most commonly used today to add what? Select 2. Aroma, bitterness, flavor, something else. Hold on, let me think about it.
I'm going to say A and C because I don't know. It could be bitterness, but I'm going to say A and C.
Yeah. I agree. I'm going with A and C as well, just because I feel like Citra always adds such a flavor and an aroma. So.
Correct. And
Ooh, that's
obviously,
yeah,
I'm correct
I
because
couldn't come up
Barrow
with
says
anything
so.
else. I was.
I know.
I'm sorry. I was
So,
trying to come up with something to like make it somewhat tricky, and I obviously was not doing great because I filled in D, half expecting that I was going to come back and actually do it myself, but I also wrote it as a way of if I forget to come back and get it, this is also sufficient. So, yeah, it's A and C. So since about 2016, Citra hops have been the hop powerhouse for aroma, with Mosaic and Cascade coming kind of back and forth for a somewhat distant second. So this beer that we have right now from Ratio, it has both the Mosaic and the Citra, so it should like smell really well, like really, really strong. So Citra, that hop is going to usually have like an orangey, fruity flavor with a lot of like mango, passion fruit, pineapple, peach flavors or smells. And then Mosaic is actually the favorite in the craft world. And it's going to have aromas of like blueberry, a little bit of pine, and some other fruits like mango and peach. So as you're drinking this, like those are probably the smells that you're getting.
Absolutely.
With also that like really heavily fruited flavor.
Interesting.
all right. There we go.
All right. I'm going to eventually finish this so I can open the Ratio beer.
Not even close.
I'm pretty close. What variation of IPA is Ratio Beerworks releasing tomorrow? And I put the date in here just in case someone comes back and watches this another time. Tomorrow is the 4th of March. May the 4th be with you.
No, wrong month.
March.
Keep going.
May the March 4th be with you.
Beware the 4th of March, as they say. Yeah.
A, lemongrass and citrus IPA. B, a traditional West Coast IPA, bringing back the OG. C, a blood orange IPA, or D, a black IPA named after Danzig. Now, before we get anywhere, I'd like to point out that on show 2, we talked about this brewery, and they started in a punk band.
Right.
That's how they met. And one of the questions had to do with what band had played there.
Okay.
And for the record, I had put the Misfits as one of the band options.
Sure. Don't try to lead me astray.
No. I just wanted everyone to know that I was fucking clever if this isn't like the right answer.
Okay.
It could be.
I really want it to be a black IPA named after Danzig, and I hope it's kind of like a short, fat can that's a little past its prime. But I don't think it is. I think with the way that everything is going in the industry currently, I'm going to say they're bringing back a traditional West Coast. So I'm going with B.
Pull out my ratio from my friend's koozie.
I'm actually going to agree with you on that as well, Daniel. I think that I started talking and then you showed Vero's
That's what I was
answer.
waiting for. I literally was
like,
hovering over it, just waiting for you to answer.
And you know what's funny? I was thinking it might be the blood orange, but I know that there's another Denver brewery that we've talked to that does an amazing blood orange IPA.
Yeah.
So I was like, maybe they're not going to do that sort of thing. Maybe to stay away from that one. But apparently they're doing the blood orange IPA because Vero does not get an answer wrong. So
it is all over their social media. So yes,
well,
it is blood orange.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry. Do you have more?
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like
I will tell you the name of it, though. It's very fun.
Go ahead. Tell me the name.
No. You can tell.
It may gauge how I feel about it.
yeah.
It's called, if you want blood orange IPA.
I'm not that impressed, actually.
I'm so happy they're not here, so I'm gonna fake excitement over that.
I'm not a big blood orange fan in general, and there's been a lot of breweries that have done it around here.
It's a pretty common
additive. I just didn't really care for them.
Yeah,
so
I don't know if it's because it's like relatively inexpensive compared to like peaches or something that maybe is like a more expensive fruit.
Maybe, yeah.
I think it's just fun to say. I think it lines up well with the marketing of it, like putting blood orange IPA just kind of sounds cool. The color's probably cool.
Yeah.
So I think it's more just like it is a cool kind of variation that is fun to play around with. But
that is true.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But anyway, for anyone who may be in the Colorado area, they are releasing this on draft tomorrow and in cans at both of their locations. They've got 2. And then I did actually check Beer Drop to see how many different beers that Ratio has on Beer Drop. And they actually have 9 different beers. Obviously, the blood orange one is not one of them because they're releasing it tomorrow. But if you use Beer Drop, there are plenty, including this one.
Yeah.
Plenty of Ratio beers that you can grab from them. And yes, Andy, we are wearing the same shirt. It was not coordinated. Mine has a cool drawstring, though. I
just love you guys shop at the same places.
No, mine just shows off my chest. That's all mine does.
Yeah. But yeah, no, they have a bunch of different options on Beer Drop, and selfish plug, we have a link that you can use. You get $5 off, and Phil gets $5 off.
Is it 5? I thought it was 10. I think it's 10.
Just kidding.
10.
10.
Yeah.
Even better. We've
Right,
hyped this shit up so much. You get an extra $5
I can't let you keep plugging shit, man. This is... All right.
True or false? IPAs are best enjoyed alongside spicier foods to balance out the bitter flavors.
I mean, that would make good sense to me.
Would it?
Yeah. I'm gonna say true.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think if I like IPAs when I'm eating something spicy, though.
Yeah, but if you have something like acidic or like a juicy or hazy or anything like that, I think it's like just a regular clean IPA the bitterness should offset some of the spiciness.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think for my own personal. I don't know if I do.
Katie
I don't
says
think
false
I think to have it.
because
Yeah.
IPAs are lunch.
I'm gonna say false just because I don't think I enjoy an IPA when I'm eating something spicy.
I think you're an idiot.
All right.
Well, that's clear. I mean, we've known that.
Vero says true. So curry. So because IPAs are really bitter and hoppy and they do have that really strong flavor, if you pair it with something that doesn't have a similarly strong flavor, it'll overpower the dish. So a lot of things I read were talking about how like Mexican food being like a really heavily spiced something, maybe not necessarily spicy, but just spiced.
Yeah.
Is a good option. Same with curry. Curry can be spicy, but is overall just a relatively spiced
a heavily
dish.
spiced dish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also like tacos, barbecue, like burgers, things that are just a really heavy flavor. Also, yeah, Vero, all of this stuff was on the blog, and I'm so sorry. I read them.
Could you imagine how boring this show would be, though, if we were all like A, C, next, D, correct.
This was a test.
True.
I'm still for me, I'm still gonna say that I would prefer to have like with like tacos, you like a Corona, like it's just like I like something that kind of
No, that's just
Hold on.
that's just
I
branding.
have the what pairs best with Corona right here. And so Corona has a similar cooling effect to IPA. So you see it a lot with people drinking or eating Mexican food. Because you can kind of even compare it to like milk because it like coats the tongue, right? Especially after a traumatic episode after like too much hot sauce or something. But they're saying that Corona pairs best with hot wings or salsa. So same thing like a spicy, but it's more cooling because it's like a mild beer, whereas the IPA, because it is so heavily flavored, like you want a really strong, not necessarily just flat spicy, but like a spiced and spicy.
Right.
So we're talking more spiced than spicy. Something that's
or
spiced,
you know.
Okay.
I would like to say that if it's spiced, it should be spicy.
In theory, yeah.
I like most of my food spicy.
Yeah. All right. Well
then.
Is that the last? Are we done with trivia? Who won?
I think so.
Yes.
I think that was it. That was 5.
I think Daniel. I think you might have taken it tonight over me.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
All I need is a pre-show nap, bitch. I'm ready to roll.
Let's review this beer.
Let's do it. All right, so this is the portion of the show where we're actually going to review the beer, and tonight we are reviewing Sparks Fly by Ratio Beerworks out of Colorado. This is listed as a juicy IPA. It's listed on Untapped as an American IPA, so take that for what it's worth.
Oh, they got that right on the can. So you know they've already got low score for me just for the can saying juicy IPA.
I mean, I would consider this a juicy IPA.
Who wants to go first? Okay. So when we rate these beers, we are rating these through Untapped, which is technically 1 to 5 bottle caps, 5 being the best, 1 being the worst.
Technically, you can go down to a 0.25.
Yeah, if you're a supporter, sure.
No. You can do that as a normal person. Sorry.
Can you really?
Yeah.
Interesting. I'll keep that in mind next time I have this beer. No, I'm just kidding. I
don't think it's that bad.
No, it's not bad at all. It's really clean. It's really light. It's only like a 6 and some change percent. So from an IPA standpoint, it's a little light for me. The color's a little light. It is a little bit cloudy, kind of like that juicy, hazy style, which is fine. I do get a lot of weird orange aroma and flavor out of it, which is not my favorite. Just not a fruit I care for in almost any of my beers. That being said, like I said, it's clean. It's an easy drinking beer. It's not a bad beer, but I'm going to go 3.25. Read them and weep, suckers.
So I guess I'll go next. I opened it a little bit later. So I'm still kind of on like the front end of it. It is definitely citrus and like fruit heavy versus like some of your IPAs can be more floral. So even like smelling it, it's definitely citrusy. It smells like it should be a little bit sweeter and less like acidic. And I think that on the tongue, for me, it's a little bit more acidic than I would have liked. Acidic, like bitterness. Which, if I'm having an IPA, especially, so on the can, it does say juicy IPA. So this is less juicy than I think a standard juicy IPA, but more traditionally along the American IPA standard.
Okay.
So that is a controversy between what Untapped says, which, I assume whoever's putting these things into Untapped is probably not super stoked to be doing it in the first place because no people from a brewery like Untapped. So maybe they just don't care and they forgot to write it juicy versus American. Or I don't know. But I think I would be more impressed if this was an American IPA versus being labeled a juicy IPA. I'm going to give it a 3.5.
Okay.
All right.
You can go down to 0.25. Though.
I can.
Okay.
I picked my score accordingly.
So first off, last time we had Ratio, that beer, I remember that beer was really, really good. So
Yes.
they know what they're doing there. I think they missed the mark on this one for sure. One, like you said, the juicy IPA, it's not really a juicy IPA. It's not really a West Coast IPA. It's like just kind of this weird middle ground beer. And I'm having difficulty with it because, you know, the more I've been drinking beer and the more I've been, you know, enjoying it and actually like thinking about it while I drink it, the more I'm realizing like I need the flavors to be bolder. I need more to it. And to me, this one's a little like almost watered down.
Sure.
Which there is a place for that. There is a place for someone who wants a lighter IPA. So, you know, it has its home.
Preschool.
Yeah. But for me, it's just kind of in the world of IPAs, which is so crazy IPA world right now. This one definitely doesn't. It's not one I want to pick up again because I know that I've got a million other options that are better.
Sure.
But it's not bad. It's just that for me, it's not really doing much for me. So I'm gonna go with a 3.
Okay. So
It is very carbonated.
boy, that's 3 different scores. I don't know how to math this.
So
Well,
you
it's
got
right in
a
the-
3.5.
3.25.
3.25. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
There we go. Thank you.
Yeah, it is very carbonated. Like, and I couldn't quite place the like what was going on in my tongue, and I kept saying like acidic or bitter, but I think part of that is also the carbonation.
Could be. Yeah.
It definitely, so in the way that I consider juicy IPAs is like it's either mouth watering or it's not. Like my mouth is definitely watering from the components of this beer, but the flavor is gone and it's simply just like bitter,
Right.
which for me is
Agreed.
Yeah, red.
So I mean,
Agreed.
I'm just kind of like lost because like you give it a name like Sparks Fly, you expect a little bit more, something like the whole thing is just something's off, and I don't. Like I said, I mean, they make great beer. We've had good beer from them.
Yeah, absolutely.
But this one, for some reason, is just not quite there.
Not your jam. Understood.
No, not my jam.
It could
We
be
do-
that it's a little old.
Well, most of the stuff that you get shipped, and we try to plan these out early,
Right.
but I don't think it's that old.
I mean, it's only maybe like 3-4 months.
Yeah, that's not too
Wait,
bad.
was it?
And it's been refrigerated.
Yeah, this was
All right,
canned
well-
late November. So, and we're the 3rd of March. So
Tomorrow's the 4th of March, so yeah, that would make today.
right. It's maybe 3 months old. Usually IPAs you want to drink within 6 to 7 months. So this should still be well within it's like, you know, what would be good.
Yeah, sure.
Well, let's find out what some people on Untapped also say about this beer and see if we're
Perfect.
kind of in the same realm. We've got about 3 Untapped reviews that we'll watch or look at right now, and hopefully they're not blue.
They're not
What
sharp, maybe lemony.
are they playing? Go Fish? How many cards has that motherfucker got?
Crazy Eights. We haven't played cards.
I mean,
in a
I
while.
could see maybe like lemony from, like you said, some of that citric,
Yeah.
like almost acidicness from the fruit.
I think Vero hit the nail on the head though with like the grapefruit versus lemon, but I could see how that could be confused.
Also,
Yeah.
what is Fighting Demons? Because I would like to at least stop by there. I hope it's just
Obviously,
that man's house.
it's their card playing game, like their squad.
Mm.
Like they are the Fighting Demons, or maybe it's like a weird D&D where they use cards.
There's only one D that old man is into, and it's not Dungeons.
Appreciate any beer named after a great Taylor Swift song.
Oh, there you go. Hold on, Matt G.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There was a really big part of me that wanted to bring that up, but I was like, no. I was only going to really bring it up if it was good,
Fair.
because, you know.
He's at a Taylor Swift show. There's nobody there. That's weird.
No, he's at the brewery.
Well, I see it
That's
now.
their
Yeah, I see
little. I don't know what that logo is. I assume it's like meant for measuring things as you like build a railroad or something because they're in Denver.
We're throwing out a lot of theories here.
Yeah, man.
Well balanced, semi West Coast style, more than juicy to me, which is kind of like what we touched on.
Yeah.
not quite juicy, but it's not quite like an
Yeah.
American
And
like.
They gave it a 3.75, so they're we're not that far off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have to agree with Josh W.
True.
We ain't his friend, so you know.
Thank you. You're watching Josh W. Please friend us.
But yeah,
So everyone kind of is on the same page as we were with this one, I think.
Yeah, and they had it. 2 of those 3 actually had it at the brewery, so they had it fresh off tap.
which makes me feel a little better.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, we gave Sparks Fly from Ratio Beerworks a 3.25. That's the score.
All right.
Did I skip something?
No.
I'm
You
always
did not.
afraid that-
No.
I was like,
I think we're just
I see the 2 of you looking at each other. I'm like, oh no, what I skipped?
I'm just laughing. So this is the portion of the show where we just take a second to reflect on something that's potentially not beer that we wish was beer. So it could be anything from the week, the month, the year, your childhood, doesn't matter. Just something that we thought about within the realm of this show versus last show about what we think we wish was beer instead of what it is. And Tiffany's always super prepared for this one, so I'm going to let her go first.
so.
And that look proves me correct.
Mine is just really easy,
Perfect.
and it's like it's a gimme.
I love it.
So
Gimme.
having lived a very cushy life forever, I don't really know what struggles are other than having shitty relationships kind of thing. Not this one.
Right here. God.
But outside of that, I really haven't been dealt any cards that I can't handle. I can't fathom what the people of Ukraine are going through right now. It is just beyond my own comprehension of trying to leave a country that I have called home forever, or standing up and learning how to use a gun, or making Molotov cocktails in my backyard, just things that I there's no way I can try to understand. For the record, I would stay and fight with you. You wouldn't be allowed to leave.
Thank you.
But I wish that was beer, in the sense that everyone can pretty much get behind beer. There's some people who don't like beer, but they're not going to be that against it. And it would mean, in a stupid sense, we just wouldn't be dealing with that in the news. I feel like the last week, all I've done is wake up and read the news and just have just, I don't know, so much loss of words, I guess, for what these people are going through, and how I'm essentially useless and I can't help them at all.
Well, so I did right before the show. Actually, I was scrolling through the socials, and I just saw a really cool post that someone suggested in a way to help at least somewhat for the people of Ukraine, and it was you can book Airbnbs in Ukraine still. So a lot of people are saying book an Airbnb, don't actually go. And currently Airbnb is cutting they're taking away all their commissions. So all the money is going directly to whatever family you rent a house from.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But what someone added to that, which I thought at first I was like, oh, that's such a cool idea, because then you can just send them money. But then the other addition to that is you can actually talk to them, because they'll still respond to you.
Yeah.
So it kind of is a way to message them and say, hey, we're on your side. We're here for you. We're thinking about you. And I was like, that's such a cool idea. And then in the comments of all that, people are also pointing out, go on Etsy and do a location in Ukraine and buy digital downloads, buy whatever you kind of can, something that they don't actually have to make, but you can just kind of support, because you can still message them. And I thought that was a really cool way of supporting them. And you just don't think you could message someone and be like, hey, we're thinking, and it's but you can.
Yeah, and
Right.
that's always the craziest part. That's what I always tell people. I'm like, oh, you mean use the internet for what it was actually intended for?
Yeah.
To further connect with people outside of your direct world?
Yeah.
Crazy.
like outside of like at Ukraine, like on Twitter, like that's not necessarily gonna work.
I don't think they have a Twitter
I
account.
don't know.
Um,
Hashtag. I don't know how the internet works.
I know. We're very familiar.
I was cut off from watching the rest of Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy earlier, so obviously I am not the right person to be asking these questions. What is I am the age of an 80-year-old?
All right. Well, my wish you were beer this week is not something as creative or fun. I just wish that fireball shots were beer.
You wouldn't be as hungover.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. So I go to this. I have my bar here in St. Martin. Shout out to Hole in the Wall. It's my favorite bar. The bartender there, Maddie, treats me so nicely. And but the downfall of having a bartender at a bar that treats you so nicely is that every drinks just appear out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I've been drinking beer just to like pace myself out for the whole night. Like I'll get like a tall draft and just like sip on it as long as I can. But then he brings out those damn fireball shots.
Ugh.
And he'll just put one in, and you're like, well, I can't not take it because you're so good to me. But please stop bringing me fireball shots.
Where you gotta be like, Maddie, like, no.
It doesn't matter. He's this gorgeous, tall Hungarian man, and you
I'm
just
sorry,
no one says no to Maddie. Let's just say that.
I would be interested to see this man.
He's on my Instagram. You can see him.
Relationships.
I mean, I'd still stay around. I'd still stick around and fight with you, but doesn't mean I can't look.
Well, I just posted a story about him because last night it was downpour raining in just for like the Caribbean. It just
white
starts.
T-shirt.
He does shower with the rain that is coming down, so that is on my Instagram account.
I've already been missing for half the show anyway, so I gotta go check Instagram.
Daniel, what's your wish you were beer this week? I don't think you've gone last in a while.
No, I don't think so either, which is great to give me ample time to actually think of one.
Headaches?
No.
I don't know.
No, that's yours.
You says the man who was sleeping because he had a headache earlier.
I know.
Wake you up right before the damn show.
So I, for those of you who don't know, I'm a big college basketball fan, specifically a Duke basketball fan. So Saturday, Duke plays North Carolina at home in Durham at Cameron. And it is Coach K's last home game because he is retiring after this season. So I kind of just wish Coach K was here so that maybe come next season we could have another one. It'd be nice.
The next variation, you know, you got the.
Yeah. Well, but yeah, we're getting another variation of Coach K for sure. But I saw somebody posted something that said, I've never actually lived in a world without Coach K as the Duke head coach. And it's true. He's been the coach since before I was born.
83?
So.
Wow, that's crazy.
No. When did he start?
40 something years ago. So before I was born. I don't know the date.
There's got to not be that many coaches that have coached the same team for that.
No, very, very few.
Stretch. I mean, I can't even. That's insane.
So it's kind of fun because he's getting a lot of hate on the internet and a lot of love on the internet, which is fun to see play out. But regardless, they play Carolina this Saturday, and we should walk all over them, which should be nice.
Also, let me go through everyone else's wishes.
I don't know, but I don't know much about college basketball, but didn't some like big team get cut out by like the 27th team?
This year's been a shit show. Everyone in the top 25 in the AP top 25 has lost dumb games or easy games. And yes, Katie, Jim Boeheim with Syracuse is probably the other longest running coach currently there. But in case you forgot, they stripped away a bunch of his wins for controversy. Never happened to the K. Not yet.
So, it's always come out at the end.
Vero does not like cinnamon, so she does not condone fireball shots.
Okay.
And therefore, she wishes cinnamon was beer because problem solved.
Unless it's a cinnamon beer, then you're fucked.
Yeah,
I've had a couple of good ones.
Andy, I wish the Wish You Were Beer / Weekly Beer Show crossover show was beer. It was glorious. I don't remember a lot of it, but I seem to remember it being pretty cool.
I had such a blast with those two guys. That was so much fun. I'm happy I got to jump in.
I think it was funny because we talked about it before, like a week or two before we went on, and we were like, well, I mean, we've been doing this show. I don't think we've ever been like a guest on something. I think we were worried about it and like worried about being a part of it in some capacity. Like I was going to fuck their brand over or vice versa, which let's not get us, they can't really fuck our brand over, but
I've been doing it for however many weeks.
But I kind of remember being like, I really hope this goes well. Like, it's weird to get on with people that you really don't know extremely well.
Yeah.
That you may know the personality from online, but you don't actually know them. Man, it was a blast, though.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it, and I know that we've been talking about bringing them on our show.
Yeah, so I've already reached out to Nate. So once Phil gets back from St. Martin, I think they want to send us a Las Vegas specific brewery.
Nice.
So Nate mentioned a couple that he'd like to send us and we can have on the show. And so then we'll do a show of ours with them on it with their beer.
And Phil, you and Dan are both in the LA area, so you guys should like do something
If
cool.
I don't get some damn bro videos from you two hopping around LA, I'm gonna fucking fight you.
You guys can wear matching V-neck shirts.
Oh, that would be good. We can go to the Magic Castle together.
Or
you know what though? That's also a good point.
Yeah.
I think what was great though is like they do a beer show, we do a beer show, and much like the beer community, we just did stuff together, and it was just fun. Like,
we did stuff together.
And that was when we weren't live. But the beer community is just like that. It's just like we're doing the same thing, but we just love each other. I love their show. Some of the ideas from their show, I'm like, oh, we're gonna kind of steal some of that stuff, and I hope that they do the same for us as well.
Yeah, for sure.
What are we stealing?
A litany of things. Don't worry about it. It's already in the works.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got another show next week.
Do we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, we're doing this every week. 51
when did that
weeks
start?
currently.
News to me.
I don't know.
Yeah, news to me.
This is another beer. So I'm gonna guess that it's out of Colorado as well.
In theory.
Yep, Loveland, Colorado. We are doing Devil's Dunkel from Birdhound Brewing Company.
Have we done a Dunkel?
I don't think we've done a Dunkel yet.
Yeah. I mean, I've done a Dunkel, but not on the show.
I've done a few Dunkels.
Spent a couple of weeks in Germany, did several Dunkels.
I love this can. I feel like I'm holding a beer that's like from the 80s. Like it just feels old, and I'm a fan of this can art. It's a 4.6er. It's a lager Dunkel. Here we go.
4.6er. That's my favorite. I can have 4 beers on that show then.
Yeah. So that should be fun.
Up on PBRs. The palate cleanser.
True story. All right. Well, listen, thanks everybody for stopping by this week. Honestly, we really appreciate you guys chiming in, watching anytime you can. Make sure you go to the actual page. Make sure you like and subscribe it. Follow us, Twitter, Instagram. Check out the website. Go to the blog. You can read about the beers we've had, upcoming beers. Vero does a fantastic job on putting that material together. So please make sure you read it, unlike myself. But that being said, we do this every Thursday live at 8 o'clock. We try to keep up on some footage in between, either via Instagram or some brewery visits or things like that. So if you follow us on YouTube or anywhere else, make sure you have your notifications on. You'll always know when we go live and when we do anything. Do you have something to say? I'm sorry.
It's fine. You keep going.
I'm trying to take the show out, but go ahead.
No. I was going to say, we just got bowling balls and we got them drilled. So maybe we'll
show out. Trying to take this show out. Go ahead, Tiffany. Take it away.
Maybe we'll take a bowling video. I don't know where you were.
Let's take a bowling video. Sorry, guys. We're going to do
That's what people come here for. You're going to drink a pitcher of Coors Light and do a bowling video, please.
No, man. They have Stella.
I'm only doing that if I yell Big Lebowski references. Otherwise, I'm not interested.
This isn't Nom, Donnie.
Thank you. So,
all right, Tiffany, because of that, I think you have to close it now, Tiffany, because of that. because you interrupted, so now you have to close.
Just imagine
All
somebody
the
was
things-
10 minutes into closing and trying to
all
pick
the
up.
things that Daniel said, like, subscribe, follow us. We're going to do our best to keep you up to date on what we are doing. Make sure to follow us on Tap so you can see how much we're drinking, how we like beers, and make sure to join us next week on Thursday at 8 p.m. as we drink a Dunkel for the first time. Cheers, y'all.
Nailed
Boom.
it.
Mic.